This video offers a quick startup guide for an R454B refrigerant heat pump paired with an air handler or furnace. Although very similar to traditional unitary heat pump systems, this system has a few key installation differences. Each outdoor unit, similar to Napoleon's R410A units, has two capacity settings available on the control board. When looking at a model number, the B indicates an R454B model, and an R in the same location will indicate a 410A model. For the indoor units, there are four different capacities available. The 454B indoor units do not have king valves and contain a nitrogen charge rather than refrigerant. The H1 and H2 terminals are located in the electrical connection area for the outdoor unit and the air handler. These must always be connected using a separate cable if using the matching outdoor unit and air handler. When using a traditional 24-volt control, the dip switches must be adjusted at both the indoor and outdoor units, which is covered later in this video. It's important to note that 454B systems contain PVE oil and not POE. Cross-contamination is prohibited as different oils are used in different applications, such as single-stage versus inverter setups. When retrofitting a system, it's recommended to replace existing 3/8 and 3/4 line sets and coil, or flush the system completely if the line set cannot be replaced. A bidirectional filter dryer is required when torch work has been performed on the line set. It is required to adjust the refrigerant leak sensor location when installing the air handler in a horizontal right application. R454B is heavier than air and sinks, and this new location is the lowest point near the coil. When mounting the sensor in the new location, use the same mounting bracket and ensure it is secured in a location that does not pierce or damage the coil. As mentioned earlier, outdoor units are configurable by a set of dip switches located on the main control board. By default, the capacity is set at the larger amount, 36,000 BTU or 60,000 BTU respectively. This is managed in the SA3 section on the control board. Prior to changing the dip switch settings, power must be shut off from the system, and the outdoor unit capacity must match the indoor unit capacity. The on position for each switch is towards the word on, located on the dip switch bank for the outdoor unit. Under SA3, dip switch 2 will be provided as default in the off position, which is the maximum capacity of 36,000 BTU or 60,000 BTU respectively. To switch these models to the lower capacity of 24,000 or 48,000, the dip switch must be placed in the on position. To switch to 24 volts from RS485 communication modes, turn your attention to SA1, dip switch 1. In this location, off is set by default, which indicates RS485 communication using H1 and H2, and on indicates a 24-volt connection will be used. It's important to note that SA1, dip switch 1 must be set the same for both the outdoor and indoor units for correct operation of the system. Both models offer 4 operating modes within the SA1 section, utilizing dip switches 3 and 4. By default, the system is set to standard operation, with both dip switches set to off. In this mode, the system will function as usual. Energy saving mode is when dip switch 3 is set to the on position, and dip switch 4 is set to the off position. In this mode, the system consumes less energy by increasing compressor speed at a lower, slower rate, which can increase efficiency of the unit and provide additional dehumidification during cooling. Strong mode is when dip switch 3 is set to the off position and dip switch 4 is set to the on position. In this mode, the compressor will increase its speed at a higher rate than in standard mode to reduce the ramp up time. Adaptive mode is when dip switch 3 and 4 are both set to the on position. In this mode, the system adjusts operation for maximum efficiency by modulating its output within a smaller load range. Regardless of the mode selected, SA2 dip switches 1 and 2 set the defrost mode, which is used in cold but high humidity environments such as areas near large bodies of water. This extends defrost timing and/or increases the frequency of defrost cycles in the system. By default, the defrost mode is set to standard defrost, where dip switch 1 and 2 are in the off position. Placing both switches into the on position enables the strong defrost mode. This may be desirable in areas where there are larger temperature swings which could cause coil frost. SA2 dip switches 3 and 4 control the noise reduction mode in 4 levels. By default, the system is set to standard noise reduction, with both dip switches set to off. In this mode, the system will operate as usual. Noise reduction mode 1 is when dip switch 3 is set to the on position, and dip switch 4 is set to the off position. Noise reduction mode 2 is when dip switch 3 is set to the off position, and dip switch 4 is set to the on position. Noise reduction mode 3 is when dip switch 3 and 4 are both set to the on position. It's important to note that if the system is set to a higher noise reduction mode, the unit derates itself and may not output the desired heating or cooling. When charging the system, ensure to add 0.32 ounces of refrigerant per foot for any line sets over 25 feet, or charge the system as per the chart shown here. If installing a hybrid system with a nitrogen-charged A coil, add an additional 6 ounces of refrigerant. The heat pump outdoor unit is factory equipped with a crankcase heater for cold weather startup. This ensures that liquid refrigerant is not present in the compressor before startup. In outdoor temperatures below 41 degrees Fahrenheit or 5 degrees Celsius, ensure that power is applied to the outdoor unit for a minimum of 8 hours prior to startup. When applying power, check the operation of the crankcase heater by removing the front access panel, opening the compressor blanket, and checking to see if the crankcase heater is warm. If this procedure isn't followed correctly, slugging of the compressor can be noted, which will cause damage. When connecting the heat pump system to a gas furnace such as the Napoleon WUV or WPV, the furnace must be capable of 400 CFM per ton to match the heat pump. The system must also have a matching TXV or EXVA coil. For wiring, cut the jumper labeled JW39 on the control board and do not wire the D control wire from the heat pump to the furnace. When paired with a furnace, the system requires an RDS kit for the coil, which must be installed as per the manufacturer's specifications. See the link in the description for more information on RDS kit installation. When connecting the heat pump system to a Napoleon NPFX air handler, ensure to use a unit that will match the heat pump's capabilities. The air handler will need the D wire connected from the heat pump, so the heat kit will operate during defrost. The electric resistive heat kits that were sold for the R410A air handlers can also be used on the 454B models. Proper sizing of the breaker in the electrical panel and wire sizing is essential and must be determined by a qualified electrician. In order to set the correct CFM, the system's baseline static pressure must be calculated. See the link in the description for a video on how to correctly calculate static pressure. Once the baseline static pressure has been collected, the CFM can be configured across 5 speed settings using dip switches on the air handler's main control board. By default, the blower is set as speed 3. When setting the heating CFM, the dip switches located in the heat section, labeled SA2, will need to be adjusted. The dip switches in the cool section, labeled SA1, must remain in the on position. To increase or decrease the CFM, adjust the dip switches in accordance with the product manual. See the 24-volt wiring schematic here. B is to energize the reversing valve in heating mode. L should always be connected, as this is the refrigerant leakage shutdown signal if using a matching A coil or air handler. W1 accepts the second stage call from the thermostat to run electric heat with the heat pump. Y is for the compressor call from the thermostat. Y1 is the output signal from the indoor to the outdoor units when Y proved there is no leak detection. D is the defrost signal to shut off the blower during defrost when electric heat is not on. H1 and H2 are RS485 connections for communication between the indoor and outdoor units. Always connect between the indoor unit and outdoor unit when using a 24-volt control. It is highly recommended to use a separate cable for H1 and H2. When set up correctly, the R454B system will quietly and efficiently provide comfort for your customers for years to come.